White smoke, Mr. Fox?
873 days after we voted to leave the European Union, there is at last a 500-page agreement on the terms of our withdrawal and 4 pages on our future relationship with the European Union. It is history.
Is there a deal, Mr. Hancock?
But it's a pretty odd kind of history because cabinet ministers who trooped in to see the Prime Minister are only just starting to read the grand plan, which they have to approve at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Well, I think it's really important that everybody, now that a text has arrived back from Brussels, everybody takes the time to read through it. What I'd be saying tonight is just take the time, study this, think it through. That's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow as I see the completed text and other cabinet ministers do. I think it's time for a moment's reflection before we give instant reactions to something none of us have yet read.
Now, no one may have read all 500 pages, but there have been accurate leaks that the deal would keep the whole of the UK in the customs union, possibly for years, making it impossible for the government to do trade deals with other countries. Tory Brexiters hate that.
If it is as in the reports, it really is about as bad as you could possibly imagine. It is vassal state stuff. We are going to be kept in a kind of economic and political captivity, unable to shape EU legislation and regulation, but having to accept it ourselves, not being able to do free trade deals. And the kicker is that we haven't even really protected the union.
Do you think you will find yourself voting against this deal?
I would be very surprised if I found I could support this deal. Everything one knows about it so far makes it sound not only a bad deal, but an abject surrender.
Also, Northern Ireland alone would have to follow all the EU's single market rules for goods made and shipped over the border to the Republic of Ireland. And the DUP, whose support allows the Tory party to govern, sees that as creating what they hate, a border between Northern Ireland and Great Britain.
We've been very, very clear, along with many other colleagues, that we want to see a deal that delivers on the Brexit referendum result and also preserves the integrity of the United Kingdom. Those are fundamental issues for us, and we will judge any deal against those criteria.
So what about the Labour Party? Well, it was celebrating defeating the government to force publication of the legal ramifications of the Brexit deal at some future point, and it now wants to vote down the deal itself.
This is unlikely to be a good deal for Britain. We'll look at the detail, but we've been very clear that if it doesn't meet our conditions, our tests, then we'll be voting against it.
Even he's on this pitch as a supporter of another EU referendum, interviewing the former minister who quit Mrs May's government on Friday in despair at the Brexit deal he thought was coming.
We're never going to get a Brexit that matches in any way the fantastical promises, the false prospectus that was made.
Astonishing, really, that 2 years and 5 months after we voted to leave the European Union, ministers have just a few hours to decide whether they're with the PM and her plan or on their way out to campaign against it. I can't see her getting a lot of sleep tonight. Robert Peston, News at 10.